Welcome to Formosa Dream Chasers.
We're your hosts, Mary Anne
and Ching-en.
Please join us as we explore the journeys amazing people take in pursuit of their dreams.
And get insights from their experiences.
Let's hit the road.
And get started.
Hey everyone! Today we are joined by Jason Lin, who we met when Ching-en and I decided to learn more about Taipei one weekend and joined a free walking tour.
That's right. Jason is a walking tour guide and course designer for It Formosa, the biggest English walking tour company in Taiwan. As part of this tour, he introduces Taiwanese society, history, and of course, places of interest to tourists. Today, we are going to talk to him about how he got started as an English walking tour guide. Jason, can you please say hi and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Welcome, Jason.
Hello. Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm Jason. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for joining us. Yeah.
It's our honor.
Yeah.
I'm currently a tour guide and a course designer in a company called It Formosa. So I was born and raised in Taipei. I like to learn people from different cultural backgrounds. So the tour I guide is called Taipei Historic Free Walking Tour. So Mary Anne and Ching-en joined the tour.
Yes, that's right.
A few months ago. And then in that tour, I took you to some of the places in Taipei because this is called historic tour. So as the name suggests, the tour is highly related to history of Taipei. So we learned a little bit about the history of Taipei and then some modern politics of Taiwan.
That was a fun day. We had a great time together. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about the company you work for?
Okay, so I work for It Formosa. This is a startup, and actually from the very beginning, this company just gave free walking tours to foreigners visiting Taiwan. So actually, I joined this company because I like to meet people from different cultural backgrounds, and then I really want to share Taiwanese culture to foreigners. Yeah, and I believe this is highly related to my background when I was a college student because I majored in education and also English. So
okay.
So being the tour guide, I have to share what you know and then what you wanted to share to the foreigners. So I think being a tour guide is like combining the two, education and English, and then you can also make friends with foreigners. So I joined this company 1 year ago, but during that time, because of COVID, foreigners cannot come to Taiwan. So basically, I joined this company as a course designer because our company also do education because we also hold some summer camp and winter camps.
I see.
So we also wanted to teach Taiwanese how to introduce Taiwan in English to foreigners. So we also have some courses. In addition to training tour guides, we also teach teenagers how to introduce Taiwan.
Okay, and it's all in English, the training material.
Wow.
Yeah, because originally we trained tour guides for adults, but gradually we noticed that there are more and more younger people who wanted to be tour guide or wanted to join our courses, want to learn from us.
Right.
So that's when we realized that, maybe we can lower the age level and then we can just reach the younger people. We started to do education, and we also have cooperated with some schools in Taiwan. So from elementary school to college.
Elementary school. Wow, that's young. That's pretty cool.
That's really practical.
Yeah,
because, when you learn a language, you must start with the most familiar things so you can know how to describe that. And also, that's the way how you express yourself to foreigners who are not familiar with your culture. And speaking of the background, because in Formosa Dream Chaser, we would like to know more about how people, were inspired or how they initiated the dream journey.
Okay, so I major in education and also English in college. And because when I was a student, I met a lot of good teachers. So I was inspired by these teachers, and I also wanted to be good teachers like them. So that's why I choose education as the major in my college. And also because I like English, so I also wanted to be an English teacher. That's why I also minor in English. So that's how we can be an English teacher in Taiwan. And actually, in college, I had a lot of opportunity to visit different countries because of some project, and had the opportunity to visit Singapore and Canada. So I visited some secondary schools there, and then I observed some classes. So
I see.
yeah, so I get to know, okay, how education was conducted in different country, and I also wanted to bring the different cultures at that time if I became a teacher. Yeah, so I also joined a non-profit organization.
Right.
Yeah. So with that organization is founded by one of my classmates in English department. Yeah, so we recruit foreigners in Taiwan to classrooms in Taiwanese school so they can share their stories and their cultures to Taiwanese students.
Oh, that's nice.
Whoa.
At that time, you mentioned you were in university, so you were also working to bridge the culture between Taiwanese and foreigners. How old are the Taiwanese students at the time?
We usually cooperated with junior high school and senior high school.
That's pretty cool. So that was the background of how you got started teaching, because you were inspired by teachers as well. I think that's wonderful. Actually, you hear a lot of stories about how great teachers are able to inspire their students. So I think that in itself is such a wonderful story.
Yeah, because not so many students can have the opportunity to maybe go abroad or be exposed to different cultures. So that's why I think that maybe we can make use of the resources in Taiwan and then let the foreigners share their cultures and stories with Taiwanese students. And because at that time I was mainly focused on how to learn from other cultures, but it is also important to know my own culture, right?
Right.
So when I realized that, okay, maybe I also have to know the history of my country and then some of the cultures so that I have something to share with foreigners. It's not just I'm learning from the foreigners, but we can interact, when we can communicate, we can share different things from each other. Yes. So that's why I joined this company.
Okay.
Yeah. So in this company, I actually learned a lot about history of Taiwan.
Okay.
Because maybe in school, we don't usually learn the so-called local history. So we also learn some of the important events or some of the things that maybe the government or some of the scholars they think that it's important, so that students should learn these. But actually in my company, I get the chance to learn like how different cities in Taiwan developed. Like in Qing Dynasty or in the Japanese period. Yeah, so that's something that you cannot learn in school.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
If you don't mind us backtracking a little bit on your journey from taking up a course specifically for education to become a teacher, how did you transition to this company? Like, what was your journey from graduating to being part of It Formosa?
so when I was in college, I learned a lot in my department because the professors in my department are very theoretical. So they also joined some of the important policy making process in Taiwan. But actually, I had a lot of benefits in the journey in my college. So after I graduated from graduate school, I realized that, okay, because I've been learning how to talk about education, but I didn't really have the chance to practice. Yeah, so because in education we value practice, right? So I really want to make what I learned into something like physical or tangible. So that's why I want to have some hands-on experience.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I thought that, okay, I can join a startup so I can learn how I can have more hands-on experience and how I can make use of my professional background, like designing courses and then how to carry out the idea.
I see. Would you say this is your dream job then?
Yeah, and actually,
No pressure.
when I was applying for this job,
Yeah.
actually I thought, okay, because I majored in education and I also minored in English and I also like history. I also like politics in Taiwan.
Yeah.
So that's why, okay, maybe I'm the perfect fit for this job.
Yeah. It seemed
It's a
like
dream job.
Yeah, it seemed like it checked all of the boxes of your interests and passions. So you mentioned you joined the company during COVID. So how long have you been a walking tour guide then?
Actually, half a year.
Half a year.
Only half a year, because foreigners are allowed in Taiwan from the beginning of this year.
Right.
So last year I mainly focused on designing courses.
Right.
So I'm already familiar with the content.
Mm-hmm.
So I just make the content of the tour into courses, and then when I was a tour guide, I will make this content into more interesting stuff for foreigners. It's very different when you are teaching the history or talking about history to foreigners, because students in Taiwan, they already had the background knowledge,
Right.
so you can go
That's true.
deeper. But to foreigners, maybe they are not familiar with Taiwanese culture.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, maybe they are this their first time here in Taiwan. So you have to make the history or the things in your tour more friendly and then more understandable for them to digest.
As a Taiwanese, sometimes I just ignore that. I've known a lot about Taiwanese history and culture, and then I was just skip some details. But I was always reminded by my colleagues that no, these foreigners will not know what you are talking about.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that's very important.
Yeah, I would agree. I actually really appreciated that part of your tour when you were giving the background information, and you could see from the group, like you could really see from the questions that they were asking that they don't have the background information. So like even for myself, because I didn't grow up in Taiwan, I found a lot of the information you gave very helpful, because it gave me context. Right. It gave me context about, let's say, the political parties of Taiwan, the difference in, let's say, how Taiwan views itself from China, just these little things that nobody really thinks about until you're here in Taiwan and living here and then getting a better understanding of society as a whole.
Yeah, and I think that's also like a build up as platform or a platform for you to, sometimes they ask some questions then it might not be true, and you have this platform not only for entertainment education. Sometimes you also can, as a Taiwanese, you can clarify some myths.
Yes.
Yeah.
So actually, we all call ourselves like diplomats.
In a way.
Yeah. So you can interact with the foreigners. Maybe they don't know much about Taiwan, and then they have some misunderstanding about Taiwan. So you can seize the opportunity to clarify or to share your personal experience with them.
Thanks for listening today. This isn't the end of our interview with Jason, so remember to tune in next week as Jason shares why being a walking tour guide may be a lucrative career option.
Have a great weekend.
Again, this is Ching-en
And Mary Anne. See you guys next Sunday. Bye.